An incredible F3 derby results and some dramatic matches between top six rivals. Let's talk about round 26 in the A-League men's. We'd love to get your thoughts as well. Drop your opinions, your analysis of this weekend's matches. How did your team go this weekend? Join the conversation in the comments section and make sure to hit the like button to support the channel. We're going to go through each of the matches one at a time. And of course, we do have to start with the F3 derby. An incredible scoreline, and of course, as a Mariners fan, I tell you what, if you want my full thoughts, I've got the dedicated match review video for this game is over on the Coastward Football YouTube channel, dedicated Mariners content there. So go check it out. I talked about this game and just my thoughts on the overall state of Central Coast Mariners, so I suggest you check that out if you're interested. But look, from a Newcastle Jets point of view, from a neutral point of view, this is just an incredible scoreline. I mean, Newcastle Jets started very brightly. Central Coast Mariners were clearly second best from the get-go. Red card obviously makes things very tricky. Stormroo, who had just come on, he came on for the injured Mikael Docker. Hopefully Docker's all right for the Mariners. Stormroo gets sent off a few minutes later, and the goals just kept coming. The second half was just all Newcastle Jets, 6-0. It's Newcastle's first win for a long time at home against Central Coast Mariners, but what a way to do it. And they do keep their finals hopes alive. And for Mariners now, the finals dream, well, we knew it was pretty much over, but it is now confirmed mathematically that they cannot make finals. Just 2 games left for the Central Coast Mariners, who are now sitting in 10th. The Newcastle Jets, 29 points, just 5 points off Sydney FC, who are in 6th. So Newcastle Jets still just about in the conversation. It's quite unlikely, but I tell you what, if they can back it up in the final few games with performances like this against Central Coast Mariners, it could be a real surprise team here for the end of the season. And looking at the stats as well, I mean, you can see how much they dominated possession, shots on target. Mariners just had nothing, absolutely nothing in this game. So, look, a disastrous evening for the Mariners, real low point for this season and for the history of Central Coast Mariners, to be fair. Again, check out the dedicated review video over on Coastward Football if you're interested, but what a win for Newcastle Jets. Next up, Sydney FC 2, Auckland FC 2. This was shaping up as a really tantalising matchup because you got 2 of the biggest clubs in the competition. Obviously, Auckland's top of the table, Sydney FC. It's been a busy week for them with Asian Champions League 2 football. They had that loss in the first leg against Lion City Sailors. And obviously the second leg next week. So they had to squeeze in this huge A-League fixture, man, to keep them in a good position in that top 6. And they have managed to do that this weekend. Adrian Segicic, so we have to talk about this guy yet again. We keep talking about him. And this guy just defies belief. I mean, week in, week out, he's just showing us his insane talent and 2 just incredible goals from a player who has enormous potential. And I know we say that about a lot of players, but Adrian Segicic is doing this on a consistent basis. And for a guy who isn't really starting week in, week out, he did start this game, but he hasn't been starting week in, week out. He's towards the top of the Golden Boot race as it stands right now and could potentially win it. I'd be stunned if he doesn't secure a move to, potentially a big European club in the off season, and I'd be stunned if he doesn't get a Socceroos call up. Within the next 6-12 months, this guy just has enormous talent. I mean, Auckland FC, always competitive as they are, grabbed 2 goals. Rogerson, De Vries in the second half as well with the equaliser. They never say die, Auckland FC. It was always going to be a tricky test for Sydney FC. Overall, a fun game to watch from a neutral point of view. 2-2, great game. Sydney FC, as mentioned, maintained that position in the top 6. That was helped by Adelaide's loss, which we'll talk about a bit later. But Auckland FC, top of the table still. But again, this narrative has been building in recent weeks where it's felt like for a while that they are closing in on the Premier's plate. That has been the conversation around them. But another draw. The draws have been coming in recent weeks for Auckland FC. 13 wins, 8 draws, just the 2 losses, of course. They haven't lost many games, but they are just dropping points here and there. And Melbourne City with their win this weekend, which we'll talk about in a moment as well, just a 4-point gap at the top. It is not over. It is not over. City looking to finish the season strong here as well. They're closing in on top spots. And Melbourne City, they are a club that knows what it takes to win a Premier's plate, that is for sure. But a dramatic game in Sydney. And it was a dramatic game in Western Sydney as well, as Wanderers defeated their top 4 rivals, Western United, in Parramatta. 2-0. Great victory for Western Sydney Wanderers. This is a real statement, I think to the rest of the top six that the Wanderers mean business this season. And when it comes to finals, I don't think many teams would want to come up against Western Sydney Wanderers. This was, I think, shaping up as a pretty even game. A lot of people are probably expecting a draw. Western United have been great this season. They have coming into this game with, 5 consecutive wins? Fantastic form. And looking very, very good. And Western Sydney Wanderers, not only do they get the win here at home, but they keep the clean sheet, which is hugely important for a side who has been leaky, in terms of defending their own goal throughout times this season. Gersbach, who set up that second goal, was of course the own goal from keeper Matt Sutton. But fantastic evening for Alex Gersbach for Western Sydney Wanderers as well. But again, we could see this matchup in a month's time in finals, Western Sydney Wanderers, Western United, and it's huge for the confidence of Wanderers to get that victory. And check out the ladder, man. These two teams sitting right next to each other. Western slipped down to third, still in a decent position, 41 points. Wanderers just the 2 points behind. And again, they're keeping the wins coming here. Western Sydney Wanderers level on points with victory, but just ahead in goal difference. And again, all eyes on that second spot. We know that means Asian Champions League Elite Football. We expect at least for this season. Of course, as we know, Auckland can't feature in that competition as they are from New Zealand. Great win for the Wanderers. 3-2, Melbourne City, Brisbane Roar. This was, I think, a real surprise. Well, I mean, the win in the end for City wasn't a surprise, but Brisbane Roar really took it to Melbourne City, especially early on. Abubakar, really nicely taken goal, breaking away and finishing. He's been a decent signing for Brisbane Roar. A few goals for him. Keegan Jelicic with a second in the second half. But aside from that, City were in control for a lot of this game and did get the victory in the end. But they did have to wait to the second half to finally get the goals coming. Tilio, Caputo, and Ferreira as well, who was very good in this game. He provided an assist for Tilio's goal as well with a fantastic long ball. I mean, you look at the statistics, completely dominated by Melbourne City, just 3 shots for Brisbane. The 2 on target, 2 goals for Brisbane. Look, they came agonisingly close to at least getting a point here, Brisbane Roar. But again, it's just there's just no confidence that Brisbane are going to win, any games to finish off this season. And with Perth Glory's win this weekend, it feels like Brisbane Roar are destined for the wooden spoon. Yes, they have a couple games in hand, but again, where are the wins going to come from them at the moment? Again, Abubakar's maybe been a bright, light to finish off the season. But aside from that, really tough times at Brisbane Roar, as we know. Not much else to say there about the Roar. Wellington Phoenix 2, Melbourne Victory 3. Again, almost like a similar situation to the City-Brisbane game, where Wellington Phoenix really took it to victory, especially in the second half. They were pushing. I mean, Corbin Piper with that first goal, Paolo Retre with the cracker from long range. Had to come off. It was a brief cameo appearance from Paolo Retre. Came on as a substitute, scored a fantastic goal with that first, hitting it first time. Fantastic finish from Retre, and then came off shortly after due to injury. Hopefully he's all right. Nishan Valup, Machach, and Virgos all on the score sheet for victory, and you can see victory dominating a lot of the shot statistics there. 22-7 for the shots in Melbourne Victory, getting the win as we'd probably expect them to against a struggling Wellington Phoenix. Again, Phoenix down there in the bottom 4 at the moment, and Victory still in a good position. They are 5 points clear of Sydney SC in 6th place. So again, very close to finalising finals football there, Melbourne Victory. And again, a big club like Victory, they'll be eyeing off Asian Champions League Elite Football. It's been a while since they've sort of been in that top 2 conversation. If they can find some form, some good form, some wins to finish off the season, they could be one of those teams really pushing for that top 2 there, which we know is so important. But a big win for Victory over in New Zealand. And we also had Perth Glory 4, Adelaide 1. What a result for Glory. Perth, this was their final home game of the season, and they gave their fans something to cheer about. Fantastic stuff here. So that's the positive. We're focusing on the positive here. Perth Glory, great performance, got the win. But goodness me, Adelaide United, we need to take a second just to talk about this team and the downfall of the Reds. Now, we know just recently in the past week it was announced that Calvert will be departing the club at the end of the season. It's the end of an era at Adelaide. He has done a good job overall. He's gotten them to finals football, on a few consecutive years. But it's just incredible seeing the way they have fallen off. Not too long ago, they were sitting at the top 2 there, not too far behind Auckland FC. And they were all, they were in the Premier's Plate conversation. They were playing some fantastic football. Archie Goodwin, among the goals, leading the Golden Boot race. Zach Clough, Stefan Mork, Dylan Paredes, these guys having fantastic seasons so far, but the losses have just been coming thick and fast for Adelaide. And when you're losing 4-1 to Perth Glory, again, no offense, Perth Glory, but we know they've been abysmal this season. Perth Glory, just their third win of the campaign. Finally, another victory for Perth Glory. And they did it in a really exciting, playing some exciting football. Jalen Pearman. I mean, this guy's just unbelievable. The 2 goals he scored, really nicely taken goals. He's an exciting player, man. 18 years of age. He's another one of these youngsters coming through. And again, great to see him getting good game time. David Zulich giving him a chance. And he's again, been one of sort of the shining lights for Perth Glory this season. I mean, Adelaide had their opportunities. You can see here 19 shots, the 16 shots there for the Reds. They did have a decent amount of possession, but it was just Ben Falami who managed to get on the score sheet in this one. But it was Jalen Pearman here stealing the headlines here to help Perth Glory to a win. So again, looking at the ladder there, Perth Glory, avoiding bottom spot for the time being with that victory. But again, as we mentioned, Brisbane all with those games in hand. And Adelaide United, I mean, they're still in the finals conversation. They're 1 point off. But at this rate, I mean, look at this, 4 consecutive losses. There's no sense that the Reds are going to be playing finals football this season, especially considering that MacArthur have been building some decent form to finish off the campaign. And Newcastle Jets coming off that 6-0 win in the F3 Derby. They'll be eager to push for a spot in the finals. I mean, Adelaide United, does anyone think they're going to play finals football this season, even though they're just the 1 point off it? An incredible downfall that we're seeing here from Adelaide United. So that's round 26 in the books for the A-League Men 2024-25 season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button on the way up. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.